the 101 freeway eastbound.
It's almost as if he figured out how to compensate for driving on the four rims, because at first he was swerving all over, fishtailing,
like
and then all of a sudden he figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris and Lynette.
Here we go. Here's the pit. There's the pit.
Permission to pit, which is what they're going to do right now, and hopefully end this thing peacefully and quickly.
And that should disable the car so he can't start it again.
Yeah, he's been pitted. Hopefully we can block him in and get this done in the safe mail.
Wow, look at that. No control. Donuts on the freeway here. After being pitted, he tried to escape again. There he is. He's still on the move. 4 tires flat, all 4 rims. There he goes. He's still fishtailing, out of control. Wow. No control of the vehicle. And there you go. This guy is just, wow, mayhem. Just on the 101 freeway here, say between the 405 and Sepulveda. And there he goes. Is he going to be able to maintain some control here? It looks like not, or maybe he's doing these donuts intentionally.
Yeah,
We know
you
that
wonder
he
if
was
he's
doing
doing it
donuts
on
on the
purpose.
freeway earlier.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was doing it earlier. And
there goes a rim. There goes a rim shattering.
Yeah, I think this is going to come to an end real quick here. But this is the ideal situation for the highway patrol. This is what we're trained to do. This will block the freeway. No traffic can come forward. Everything in front of him is clear, and hopefully we can get this guy in custody as soon as possible without endangering himself or anyone else.
Yeah, you know what? He's very quickly losing any kind of control of the vehicle here. He's not able to move forward at this point. So you can see him. He's on the gas. He sure is trying. At this point, he's probably doing more damage to the freeway than he is to anything else. But there he is. He's able to pick up a little bit of speed here, probably 1 to 2, 3, maybe 4 miles per hour here as he continues. There he is on the brake drums here. The rim's basically broken away. He's on the brake drums on the left rear there, and all 4 tires are gone essentially. And so he is determined apparently. So you know what? Just real quick, I want to get this out. If you were traveling eastbound on the 101 freeway from the 405, you want to definitely get off on Haskell or get on the 405 both north and southbound. This is going to be a problem here because there are several vehicles, many vehicles in fact, that are stopped behind this police activity who are basically going to be trapped on this 101 freeway unless they are able to get off. But because of the debris that's on the roadway here, Ginger, you're going to want to get people off this 101 freeway from the 405. Keep them on the 405 or have them get off on Balboa or Haskell because there are a lot of cars transitioning onto this 101 freeway eastbound behind this police activity, and these guys are going to be here for a long time, guys.
We see them all in their straight line, lined up. Officer Bernard, at this point, maybe you can chime in terms of how this might have changed. When you see how intent he is on getting away, trying to get away, on not stopping, that must kind of change possibly the strategy, the tactics of what happens now, because he's very unpredictable.
Yeah, he's finally stopped now. He's right over Kester, and right now all of our units will be giving him directions and giving him orders, and we'll see if he follows those before they make any further moves from where they're at right now. But they are in position and just waiting for him to comply with their orders.
Waiting for him to comply or waiting for him to run? Because we see that often.
Not run. I don't think if he was going to run, he probably would have ran already. I don't know what his intentions are, but hopefully he's thinking about it, and we'll start listening to the officers' orders.
I just saw just a few seconds ago like a puff of exhaust come out of the exhaust pipe there, almost as if he were revving his engine, perhaps. We don't know if obviously the tires have been disabled, and it appears one of the rims has shattered and come off. So if he does go, he's not going to go very far or very fast. Are you dealing with clearly he's not thinking straight. For them, he's leaning out. You're communicating with him. What is the best case scenario you can hope right now?
Best case scenario is he complies to their orders, which is, as of right now, he is not. Basically, they'll just ask him to open the door, hands out, and slowly walk back and lay down, and then they can get him in control. As of right now, that is not happening.
And is this one of those situations
like at this point that he may be trying to communicate with him?
It looks like he's on the phone, right, Mark? It looks like his right hand is up to his ear.
Yeah, sorry to blurt that out, but it certainly does look like he is trying to communicate, or they are trying to communicate with him. Obviously, these guys are trying to get him to comply, and they have his arms out the window. That is certainly a good sign. They want to have his arms inside at all times. All this guy needs to do is open the door and kind of walk backwards, as the officer said here. But it looks like at the very least there is some communication, some dialogue going on. So hopefully he complies. But there you go. There's a good look at the truck. Wow. This guy literally demolished his truck here. With the help of the spike strips, they are able to get this guy to a stop. The left rear there is right on the brake drums. The left front is still on the rim there, but there he is, kind of hanging out the front window of the truck here, arms out, and officers are no doubt talking to him, ordering him to come out of the truck, and yet he is still resisting that order. So, we will see what happens here. Again, you guys mentioned it. It's a cat and mouse game, but this guy has nowhere to go now, just nowhere to go. So officers definitely have the advantage here. They have the advantage of time on their side, but there they go. It looks like, let's see what officers are gearing up to do here. Whether or not they choose to make an approach, we just don't know at this point. But given the fact that this suspect is kind of hanging out that front window, both arms are in sight, maybe that will help give them some sort of an advantage here, but we don't know that they will actually approach the vehicle. I don't want to speak to the tactics of the CHP, but we'll certainly see over the course of the next few minutes here. Now, just, looking right there, we have at least 5 cruisers there that are in our picture. We have an additional 3 or 4 that are behind them, but this is creating a big, big problem on the 101 freeway. Look at that team approaching the vehicle from the passenger side. Look at that team of 4 officers approaching that vehicle from the passenger side. This guy completely unaware, seemingly, and there he is being confronted by officers here. Now, what is going on? We just don't know. We'll try and kind of keep a visual on this, and it looks like they're going to try and open up that passenger door. They sure do. And are they going to get this guy out of the passenger side? There's his feet kicking around on the driver's side, and this is going to turn into a physical... This is going to turn into a physical altercation where they have basically pulled him out of the passenger side here, and officers are basically swarming this guy as they pulled him out the passenger side, and they're going to take this guy into custody. Additional officers are going to go around to the other side of the vehicle and clear the vehicle to make sure there's no one else in there, but it looks like they have taken control of the situation here. You saw that team of 4 officers moving towards the passenger side, unbeknownst to the driver seemingly, and they basically got the door open and have taken this guy into custody. Wow, an amazing job by the CHP officers.
Absolutely amazing.
Thank you all very much. Chris and Lynette, I got to head off. It was nice talking to you guys. Thanks, Channel 5.
Officer Bernard, before we let you go, what can you tell us? Did you hear anything during the end there? Did you hear anything about what this guy was wanted for or what he was saying?
No, nothing at all, except that he was struggling with officers as they were trying to take him into custody. But they got him in custody, and he's come to a peaceful end.
Officer Bernard, we certainly appreciate your time and helping to inform our viewers. We really appreciate the job that you and the CHP do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
You too. You're watching the end of a car chase that began in Orange County more than an hour ago, about an hour and 15 minutes ago to be precise. The Chevy heavy-duty truck you see right there was traveling at a high rate of speed when the CHP, it was traveling on the 405 northbound when the CHP tried to pull it over. It would not stop. The speeds the pursuit speeds reached more than 100 miles per hour. The suspect then got off on surface streets as he got into the LA area, specifically Ventura Boulevard, and then just wound his way, Lynette, through different neighborhoods back onto the 101. Right. They spike stripped him while they were in the neighborhood, and then, it wasn't soon after that you see the donuts there on the left. He was down to wheels.
Absolutely unbelievable. I know you and I, over the course of our career here in LA, have seen a lot of pursuits, covered a lot of pursuits. 15 years later, I've covered a lot of pursuits. I have never seen a suspect taunt officers like that, spinning out in the middle of the freeway on 4 rims. Absolutely unbelievable. And the fact that with all of that adrenaline, because those officers following, you always talk about the police pursuit and the adrenaline involved and how to make sure and keep that intact and rein it in.
Right.
But the fact that they slowly crept up to the side of that vehicle, while maybe distracting him.
Yeah, they kind of fooled all of us.
Exactly. All of a sudden, they were right there kind of creeping up on him, and it ended peacefully. He's in custody. Kudos to our team in Sky 5 being first on the scene, showing us every single freeway he was on, every intersection that he was blasting through. But it was quite a sight, no doubt about that.
All right, let's go ahead and bring in Ginger Chan as we look at this imagery. Ginger, I imagine traffic got to be a mess.
Yeah, because you can see with all the officers that are not only on the freeway, but we saw so many of their CHP vehicles that were here. It is at a standstill. So let me just break down the location really quick for you. You're looking at that 101 freeway, the eastbound side, and it is basically between Sepulveda Boulevard, a little bit past, just east of Van Nuys Boulevard. He said Kester, but Kester, of course, is an overcrossing, so it's not an off-ramp. So this is all before Woodman. We don't expect the lanes to be blocked for a long period of time. There were no injuries. There will be a minor investigation that will take place here. But of course, the CHP officers are so conscious of the early morning traffic, so they want to get that flow of traffic through. They'll, of course, have to tow this truck off the freeway, get it to the right shoulder at first. There's a little bit of debris that they have to clean up, so there will be a delay. Hopefully, they'll be able to open up a couple of those left lanes to get that flow of traffic moving, and we'll certainly watch that. The other hint of good news, it does look like West moving through this stretch of the 101 is okay, but you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 8 to 9 officers are still on the scene as they arrest this guy, and like I said, then they have to clear the scene by taking that truck off the freeway and then picking up all that debris. Lynette and Chris.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and bring in Henry DiCarlo right now. Henry, it's been a busy morning. Let's go back to the news that we were planning on sharing with our audience today, which is, of course, the Colby Fire and the weather that we're going to have.
All right, still warm, dry weather, and we're going to...
On the 101 freeway eastbound.
It's almost as if he figured out how to compensate for driving on the 4 rims, because at first he was swerving all over fishtailing,
Looks like
and then all of a
ready to
sudden
do a
he
pit.
figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris and Lynette.
Here we go. Here's the pit. There's the pit.
Permission to pit, which is what they're going to do right now, and hopefully end this thing peacefully and quickly.
And that should disable the car so he can't start it again.
Yeah, he's been pitted.
And it did.
Hopefully we can block him
It
in
did.
and get
Okay,
this
he's-
done in the safe mail.
Wow, look at that. No control. Donuts on the freeway here. After being pitted, he tried to escape again. There he is. He's still on the move. 4 tires flat, all 4 rims. There he goes. He's still fishtailing, out of control.
Wow.
No control of the vehicle. And there you go. This guy is just, wow, mayhem. Just on the 101 freeway here, say between the 405 and Sepulveda. And there he goes. Is he going to be able to maintain some control here? It looks like not, or maybe he's doing these donuts intentionally.
Yeah,
We know
you
that
wonder
he
if
was
he's
doing
doing it
donuts
on
on the
purpose.
freeway earlier.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
doing
he was
donuts
doing it
earlier on the
earlier, and
freeway, and
There goes a rim. There goes a rim. Shattering.
yeah, I think this is going to
Wow,
come to an
look
end
at
real
that.
quick here. But this is the ideal situation for the highway patrol. This is what we're trained to do. This will block the freeway. No traffic can come forward. Everything in front of him is clear, and hopefully we can get this guy in custody as soon as possible without endangering himself or anyone else.
Yeah, you know what? He's very quickly losing any kind of control of the vehicle here. He's not able to move forward at this point. So you can see him. He's on the gas. He sure is trying.
He will not
At this point, he's
stop.
probably doing more damage to the freeway than he is to anything else. But there he is. He's able to pick up a little bit of speed here, probably 1 to 2, 3, maybe 4 miles per hour here as he continues. There he is on the brake drums here. The rim's basically broken away. He's on the brake drums on the left rear there, and all 4 tires are gone essentially. And so he is determined apparently. So you know what? Just real quick, I want to get this out. If you were traveling eastbound on the 101 freeway from the 405, you want to definitely get off on Haskell or get on the 405 both north and southbound. This is going to be a problem here because there are several vehicles, many vehicles in fact, that are stopped behind this police activity who are basically going to be trapped on this 101 freeway unless they are able to get off. But because of the debris that's on the roadway here, Ginger, you're going to want to get people off this 101 freeway from the 405. Keep them on the 405 or have them get off on Balboa or Haskell because there are a lot of cars transitioning onto this 101 freeway eastbound behind this police activity, and these guys are going to be here for a long time. Guys?
We see them all in their straight line, lined up. Officer Bernard, at this point, maybe you can chime in terms of how this might have changed. When you see how intent he is on getting away, trying to get away, on not stopping, that must kind of change possibly the strategy, the tactics of what happens now, because he's very unpredictable.
Yeah, he's finally stopped now. He's right over Kester, and right now all of our units will be giving him directions and giving him orders, and we'll see if he follows those before they make any further moves from